Alright, this is me trying to build a stabilizer. I'm going to be using the stuff I'm showing you guys here. I don't know if this is actually going to work, but we're going to find out. Step one, I want to take this ring and I want to cut it so that when the camera is like centered here, I'm going to tie it up with string onto one of these, and this thing is going to go sitting on this. So, alright, see how this is going to hold up? So it's going to be like this, whatever. Alright, next step, I'm going to cut these wires so that the plate is centered. I'm going to basically attach the plate to this piece right here. So, alright, so the idea was tie this, keep this centered, then tie knots around it and all that stuff. So it's just a matter of fine-tuning right now, but this was a pain in the ass. Lesson learned, folks. Spend the money. Alright, one of the things I wasn't prepared for, which I should have thought of, which was the fact that these wires would have fallen off the edges. And so the idea is the camera sits here on the, I'm going to be using this for a GoPro. So now the next step is I'm going to take this, glue it onto the base, which I should have done beforehand. Like everything else at Double Barrel Theater, nothing's perfect. So, let you know in a second. Alright, in an effort to keep everything centered, I've drawn up this grid, and you know what I mean, my math sucks, so it's going to be off a little bit, but as long as this thing works. The idea is I'm going to take either those washers or that weight. Like, if the washers don't work, I know the weight will be overkill, but I know it'll work. So, the idea is to keep it straight. Down, so that's why the centers and all that shit comes into importance. So, alright, here we go. Alright, so let's see if I didn't glue it to the paper. I did not glue it to the paper, and it looks like there's no on there, but I'm just going to let that sit for a little while because I don't want it shifting on me. Alright, the next thing I'm going to be doing is real simple. I'm just going to I'm going to take this thing. Just word of warning, these single uses, they smell like shit, so make sure you have some ventilation and watch out, because you can glue yourself together, like literally glued, like this shit does not come off easily. So like if you want like not have to worry about this, then just watch how you glue. So, or use hot glue, but don't burn yourself on that one like I have. Alright, so that was the easy part. I put end caps on these things just so that it would be easy to keep track of things. You can basically tell if it's level or if it's even on both sides, because you're going to have some gaps in between on this. And like this is still a little wet right here, so I'm not screwing around with that. But I'm also going to find out how strong this shit is, because supposing that that the weight isn't on there, like it might be too much, so I'm just going to let it dry out a little bit more before I test it out. Alright. Alright, just to show you guys what I was going for, and it does work for the most part, but hold on a second. Alright, so like see this right here? Go like this, go like that, and while it does move, it's going to, I have to fine tune it a little bit. The idea is that, like, as I'm doing things like this, or whatever, the camera is being weighed down by the weight, so that when I'm shooting, it's gonna work for the most part. I mean, you're gonna have some wobble. It's not perfect. It's not a gimbal, but it's basic enough to work, and it's for the most part gonna be level, even if I hold it differently, like shaking. But it's not perfect, but it's gonna work.